Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Dragonic Overlord, Cardfight Vanguard deck profile for post Light of Salvation, Logic of Destruction. This is the most recent Kagero Dragonic Overlord support we received in Cardfight Vanguard standard format. Very excited that we finally received the Great for standard format as well. It's a really powerful grade 3. We got a whole bunch of new support for Overlord in general from this pack. So I thought an update was due for the deck just with all the new cards we have, and I can't wait for even more support to come out in the upcoming booster pack, because it's just going to give me so many different varieties that I can choose with the end coming out in the next booster pack. But until then, we have the Great to work with, which combos really well with Neo Flame, which we also run in the deck. But enough talk, let's go ahead and get started for the deck profile. So to start off for the grade 3s, I want to fully run Dragonic Overlord the Great as my main grade 3. Sadly, I only was able to pull the one from the sneak preview and the one from my boxes. So I have the 2 Dragonic Waterfall in the deck just as substitutes for now. Those go out when I get more copies of the Great for the deck. But with the Great, when placed, call up to 1 Dragonic Neoflame from your drop zone to rear. So having Neoflame is a really important setup for the card on your rear. It almost acts as the Legion for Kagero, since Legion isn't a thing in Standard. Having Neoflame always by the Great side really does play an homage to the old Legion format, Dragonic Overlord the Great. And once per turn, at the end of the battle that it attacked, if your soul has a grade 3, you can counterblast 1 and discard 2 cards from your hand, stand this unit in 1 Neo Flame, and they get drive -1 until the end of the turn. So basically, you have that Legion power set up basically with Neo Flame on rear, being able to restand with the Great as well, giving you those multiple attacks, having Neo Flame attack first, then being able to restand it as well. A very strong unit. You just really have to have the setup of your grade 3 in the soul as well. That's why I am running 4 Dragonic Overlord. This is the original one for standard format. I find this one to be the best one to run, basically for that Overlord support with all the other cards as well. So you want to have Overlord be your main grade 3 for the deck. With this one, it's the Vanguard or rear once per turn. You Soul Blast 1 and it gets plus 10,000 until the end of turn. And also on Vanguard, once per turn when its attack hits, you can counterblast 1 and discard 2 cards from your hand to stand this unit, and it gets drive -1 until the end of turn. I wouldn't say it's as strong as the Great, but definitely a good first ride to go into for your Imaginary Gift Force setup, and then being able to ride the Great over this card to use the full potential of its restand as well, which, like I said, benefits just having Dragonic Neoflame on the rear for those extra skills as well. And then for the grade 2s, I run 4 Berserk Dragon. Very strong retire card on Vanguard or rear when placed. You counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets in your Vanguard, you draw 1 card. So a great ride target for your grade 2 ride, since you'll get that draw power, as long as your opponent has the rear guard as well. Going, I would say, second has more benefits, because then if your opponent's on grade 2, they'll try more of a rush play style, so then you can have a card to retire with this one. And when it attacks a Vanguard, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, this unit gets plus 3,000 until the end of the battle. The plus 3,000 comes in handy when your opponent's on the grade 3, so you can have that power to stand up against it if you don't have anything boosting Berserker Dragon. I like it at 4, that draw power especially, but the retire power definitely does come in handy as well. For the go-to grade 2 for your Dragonic Overlord the Great, I run 4 Dragonic Neoflame. When your Dragonic Overlord the Great attacks until the end of that battle, that unit gets plus 5,000, then counterblast 2, and that unit gets an extra critical. Having this set up on your rear guard, being a 10k restander is a great benefit that works good with the Great, adding that power onto Neoflame with your Imaginary Gift Force as well. But on rear, just giving it that plus 5 power can really help your guard against your opponent, depending on the extra cards they may need to use. But also giving them that extra critical gives you the pressure on the restand as well when it attacks. So very nice auto skill, and a definite 4 of, just so you can have those call to rears as well when you ride your Great. And then I also run, I have 3 full Dragon Full Armored Buster. I want to run 4. If I were to run a 4th one, I would either reduce the number of the grade 1s I'm running, or reduce maybe 1 Berserk Dragon or 1 Dragonic Neoflame. More than likely Neoflame, since you just get the 1 call. If you could get multiple Neoflames out in the field with the great, like if it just says called Neoflame, or like if Neoflame's own skill said that and have multiple rearguard setups, it'd be much better. But Dragon Full Armored Buster just has that search power. When on continuous Vanguard or rear, if your opponent has no rearguards, it gets plus 3,000, putting it at 13k power. And on Vanguard or rear when placed, you can Soul Blast 2, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Overlord and its card name from among them, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So with your starter and your grade 1 being your setup in your soul, you can easily ride this card, get the search, and search your grade 3, since like I said, I want the ideal grade 3 lineup to be all Overlord, being able to search out a grade 3 if you don't have it in your hand, or just have the multiple ones. Let's say you have the great in your hand, but you need that Overlord to ride into next turn to have the setup. So this card makes your play, and it's definitely going to be used in the upcoming pack as well when we get Dragonic Overlord at the end. So we have the same setup going for that card as well. But you definitely need 4 of it. Just the fact that it's also a Vanguard ride target makes me think that Berserk would be the best option to take out for that, so it doesn't also eat up your Counterblast, since Neoflame is a big part of your Counterblast usage as well in the deck for the extra critical for the great. And then that is it for the grade 2s. We'll now move on to the grade 1s. I have 4 Flame of Hope ammo. Now we were talking about the problem with the Counterblast usage, but ammo definitely does help. During your battle they have boosted, this unit gets plus 3,000. That alone definitely does help for boost numbers, but also on rear, when your opponent's rearguard is retired, during your turn, you can retire this unit to draw a card, and then you countercharge 1. So it doesn't put it into the soul. Sadly, it would be great for Armored Busters, Soul Blasts, but other than that, it helps for the draw power and the countercharge, especially just to keep that hand consistency, and then that countercharge, since it's the only card that can countercharge in the deck pretty consistently. So a definite 4 of for your grade 1s. I also have 4 Embodiment of Armor Bar. On rear, when placed, you counterblast 1, soul blast 1, choose one of your opponent's great 2 or less rearguards in the same column as this, retire it. And if you have more rearguards than your opponent, this unit gets plus 5,000. Just great comboing if you don't have Berserk with ammo for the counter charge, so you can just have more to use later on for your skills. But just being able to hit something in the same column means you want to have your setup properly, but with a grade 1, it definitely is easy, so you can get the column set up and then have the proper boost when you call cards like your Dragonic Neoflame as well. So your opponent might try and play around that, but it's so easy just to build up a column with these cards that you really shouldn't have that problem of your opponent trying to play the setup their way. And then I want to run 4 Sable Dragonutes, only have the 2 though, but with this one, when it attack hits, you draw a card. This is on Vanguard, so it's a great ride target, especially for that pressure with your early on ride. And on rear, when your opponent's rearguard is retired during your turn, you retire this unit to draw a card. So it keeps your rearguards clear for more handguards during your opponent's turn. But the Vanguard ride target, there were so many other cards in Kagero, like Ammo and Bar, definitely weren't consistent ride targets for the deck since they didn't have any Vanguard skills. So very nice that Kagero finally has a good ride target. Definitely running this at 4. Until then, Rapia is just a good substitute for power since it has the +5 on Vanguard as well. But a draw skill is definitely much better to use in the deck. And then, lastly, I also run for the grade 1s 2 Dragonic Gaius. When it boosts a grade 3 or greater unit, you can counterblast 1 and put this unit into your soul, and the boosted unit gets critical until an extra critical until the end of that battle. The boosted power decreases if it's put into the soul. So just remember with this, I like it for the soul buildup, especially that critical. The boost doesn't really matter as much if you have a good number of built up imaginary gift force on the field. Just getting it into the soul to reuse with full armor definitely does help, but the extra critical along with Neoflames can really make your opponent use that perfect guard. If not, they're going to have to definitely throw it on their hand because they'll be facing a good amount of damage if that attack does hit and go through. And then for the grade zeros, just the standard starter, Lizard Runner, Undo. I don't think Kagero actually have any new starter. I know Nova Grappler has gotten a good amount of them, and so has Link Joker with the newest pack, but I think Kagero still just has the same starter for now. I think we might actually be getting one in the next pack now that I do think about it. But standard draw 1 Rotopound starter, and then for the triggers, I run 4 Wyvern Guard Bari, the draw perfect guard for the deck. Pretty standard in all of the deck profiles for this format. And also I run the 4 heal trigger. I really do hope we get a different heal. Nothing against Genjo, but I really do like the Dragon Dancers as well in the deck, but all the same. For any of them, unless we obviously get a heal trigger with an effect. Also 4 Embodiment of Spear Tar for the critical, and I decided to go with the 8 critical just for the pressure. So also 4 Demonic Dragon Mage Rakshasha for finishing up the trigger lineup. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And definitely going to be doing the other deck profiles from this set, so look forward to it. And Kira Qualia out.